Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Motorcycle Rescue and Review. Today, I'm going to be servicing Honda's ST1300. And in this service video, we'll do the oil and filter change. We'll also change the fluid in the rear of the bike, and we'll replace the air filter on this motorcycle as well. We'll also look at replacing the fluid in the clutch system. I'm not going to go step by step on that one, but I will show you where the bleeder valve is for it and how to get to it. Tools we'll need to do the oil change on the bike are a drain pan, a 17mm socket, an oil filter wrench, and a funnel. We'll also need 4.1 quarts of motorcycle-specific 10W30 or 10W40 weight oil and the appropriate oil filter for this bike. In this case, I use the High Flow HF204. I'll take this bike out and warm it up fully up to temperature, and then we will drain the oil out of it and the oil out of the rear differential as well.
You can see in this picture I have the drain pans underneath the engine for the engine oil and underneath the rear of the bike to drain the rear oil as well. I pulled the drain plugs out to let both of these drain at the same time. I performed all of these jobs with the bike on the center stand. In this picture we can see the engine oil drain plug. I removed that with a 17mm socket. The drain plug is located underneath the engine on the front left-hand side of the engine. In this picture you can see where the oil filter is located. It is located just in front and to the left of the center stand. I used an oil filter wrench to remove the old filter. I then allowed all the old oil to drain out for several minutes. Afterwards, I installed the new High Flow HF204 filter. The O-ring on this oil filter was pre-lubricated. If the one that you're using is not pre-lubricated, you want to just use some oil and wet the O-ring on the oil filter before installing it. I cleaned off the drain plug and I installed a new Honda OEM crush washer when I reinstalled the drain plug. Once the new oil filter and drain plug are installed, it's time to access the oil fill plug. We have to remove this small cover first. The first cover comes off very easily. The second cover that's actually on the head of the engine takes a little bit of fiddling to get it out of the bike. Once that cover is removed, I simply remove the oil fill cap and use a clean funnel to add 4.1 quarts of engine oil. For this oil change, I used Yamalube 10W40 motorcycle-specific oil. Prior to reinstalling the covers, you want to finalize your oil level in the sight glass that's located on the lower right-hand side of the engine. Once you've added the 4.1 quarts of oil, you want to start the bike up and let it idle for several minutes. And then you want to turn the bike off and let it sit for several minutes and check your final oil level. It should be towards the upper line in the sight glass, as in this photo. Installation of the covers is just the opposite of removal, and this goes pretty quickly, although the spark plug cover can be a bit fiddly on installation as well.
To replace the gear oil in the rear of the bike, I use a 17mm box end wrench and a 17mm socket. You always want to open up the fill plug first and make sure you can get that out successfully before draining the oil out of the rear. While I was doing the job, I replaced the crush washer for the drain plug and the O-ring for the fill plug with Honda OEM parts. It's always a good idea to do that. These parts are extremely inexpensive, and by replacing those, you're ensuring that the bike won't leak when you finish the job.
After all the old fluid had been drained out, I reinstalled the drain plug, and then I used some Lucas heavy-duty 80W90 gear oil. You want to add the gear oil until it starts to come out of the fill hole when the bike is on its center stand. Once that was complete, I reinstalled the fill plug, and now it's time for the air filter.
To get to the air filter, we first have to remove the seat, and we simply use the ignition key, pull this latch forward, and then hit this release, and we can easily remove both seats. The next thing we'll do is we'll move the seat height adjuster back in its track. We'll move it to this rearward position here. Using a 10mm socket and a 10mm open-end wrench, I'm going to loosen the bolt that runs through and pinches the gas tank in the rear, and then we're going to slide the rear of the gas tank back to here once we've undone the two 8mm bolts up front.
Once the two 8mm bolts have been removed, we slide the tank back. I was able to prop the tank up by gently placing it on the right handlebar. You can see that in this picture. Once the tank is tilted upwards, we have access to the top cover of the airbox that is secured by 7 JIS or Phillips head screws, and you can just carefully remove those. Just make sure you don't drop any of them down into the engine area. Once the cover is removed, you have access to the air filter at the front of the airbox. In this picture, you can see the one that was in this bike definitely needed replaced. I replaced that with a brand new high flow air filter. This is high flow part number HFA1923. Once the new air filter is in place, we simply reinstall the airbox cover, and then we reposition the gas tank and fasten it back down.
When I reinstalled the gas tank, I noticed that it was pinching this section right here a little bit. And so what I did was I removed this 5mm Allen bolt, and then I was able to pull this fairing out a little bit and set the gas tank properly in place. And once that was done, I reinstalled the Allen bolt. Bleeding out the clutch on this bike was fairly straightforward. I simply removed these two JIS screws, removed the covers, and I suctioned out all of the old brake fluid that's in here. This requires .4 brake fluid. Once the master cylinder was cleaned out, I reinstalled some fresh brake fluid in there, and then I bled out the clutch system. And once that was done, I refilled the reservoir and made sure everything was at the proper level and reinstalled the cover. In order to access the clutch bleeder valve, I removed these 5mm Allen bolts here, 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 and up here. And I also removed this push pin. And once that was removed, I pulled this section of fairing down, and I had access to the clutch bleeder valve right behind this cover. All right, those services didn't take me too long to do. They're pretty quick and easy, and this bike has been fairly easy to work on. There are quite a few other systems that I'm going to be checking over on this bike. We'll look at the health of the cooling system. We'll look at the health of the battery and the charging system as well. We'll also take a look at the front and rear suspension and make sure that everything's functioning as it should there. I usually change the brake fluid on every used bike that I purchased. I will be doing that on this bike, but this bike has a very complicated linked braking system, and it's a much more involved process, and that's really deserving of its own dedicated video. So I'm not going to cover that in this particular video. I've also checked over all the lights on the bike and the horn on the bike. In the process of checking things over, I noticed that both of the tires on this bike are sport bike specific tires. They're not necessarily sport touring tires, and it looks like they have been run at lower than optimal tire pressure. And so what it's done is it has caused some cupping on the tires and some premature wear. So I've just ordered a correct set of the Dunlop Sport Touring tires that I will put on this bike when those come in. By fully servicing a used bike when I purchase it, I have peace of mind. I can get out and I can enjoy the bike with confidence, knowing that I don't have to worry about easily preventable breakdowns. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative, and until next time, enjoy the ride.